Hey, this is Galam with the DTALKS Podcast coming to you from my daughter's room. I'm back here working on guitar parts for the music that John and I recorded, and John's brother Matt recorded a couple weeks, or I guess a week coming up on 2 weeks ago. There's a couple parts that need to be redone, so I'm back here because my recording computer is back in her room. As you can see, she is a pretty massive My Little Pony fan, which I've talked about on the podcast before. But I'm not talking to you about music or my daughter. I'm talking today about, I mentioned a couple episodes ago that I needed to work on my weight, because as you can see, I am a man of size. I'm a big guy. Have diabetes, was diagnosed back in 2013, and it's something that I need to take care of. Fortunately, the last time I got blood work, which was over a year ago, my triglycerides, my cholesterol, my blood pressure, all that stuff was great. I think my cholesterol was like 133 or something, which is pretty good for a guy my size. But unfortunately, diabetes is an erosive disease, and I need to get a handle on that. So about a week ago, or I guess on Monday, I started the ketogenic diet, which is a high-fat, low-carb with a goal of 20 to 25 carbs a day. All the calculators tell me I get 30. It's basically 5% of your calories are for carbs, 35% are for protein, and up to 60% is, that I said R is, but it is for fat, which you shouldn't necessarily use all that because eating a lot of fat's not necessarily the best thing for you. But the ketogenic diet, if you're not aware, is a diet that you aim to get into something called ketosis, which is where your body burns fat instead of carbs for energy. There are a few side effects. There's a really great subreddit on Reddit where if you go to reddit.com/r/keto, Keto, there's a community on there that's all about keto. There's our keto recipes. That has a bunch of stuff. There's a really, like, the top post of all time on there is a really, actually, for diabetic wise, it's a really good roll bread recipe that uses almond flour. Actually, a lot of the stuff uses almond flour. So far, after a week, I am down 10 pounds. You really can't see it. A lot of it's water weight, which is really, when you do any kind of diet, is the first weight you lose anyway. I'm essentially trying to recreate what I did about 7 years ago. I lost 60 pounds and then had work done on my wisdom teeth, had them out, and the doctor sliced a nerve, and so I can't feel this part, which is the left part, can't feel this part of my face completely. I can feel maybe about 10 or 20% on the surface. And that sent me into a depression, gained all the weight back, and it's just been kind of a bumpy ride since, because I enjoy food and I enjoy being lazy and doing nothing, which is a problem with a lot of people here in America. My wife and I have started walking 2 to 3 days a week. We go swimming at my dad's on Thursdays. We swim with my daughter. I do laps, and then we work on teaching her to swim. So, and if you're wondering, all of the black stuff on my face, which I should address, my wife actually sells Mary Kay, and this is a charcoal mask, which, yeah, I know a lot of dudes out there, oh, it's not very masculine, but it refreshes my face, and I get blackheads because I have oily skin. I get blackheads on my face really bad. The lighter stuff you can see there is where it's working and pulling that stuff to the surface. But anyway, so I kind of wanted to start these videos. I talked about it. I want you guys to kind of follow me, and whoever else finds this, I want you guys to be able to follow me on my weight loss journeys, my ups and downs. It's kind of a way of being accountable. The fact that I've done this diet now for my 6th day, with one moment of weakness on Wednesday where I had a few tortilla chips at a Mexican food place around here. I think that's healthy. Any of you guys that are invested on our show will be able to go back and watch this, and hopefully as time goes by, you will be able to see the physical changes, the face gains, as they say. I'll be able to talk about my health. If you have diabetes and you have questions, email me at galan@dtalkspodcast.com. Email us at DTALKSpodcast.com. Anything that I can do to help you out and help you in your journey in conquering that or overcoming that, I'm happy to do so. If you have questions about keto, I'm happy to share what I've learned on this journey. Before I go, I will say that tonight we tried something called Fathead Pizza Crust, which is essentially you mix mozzarella cheese with almond flour and an egg, and then basically that is your crust. You flatten it out, you cook it, and then you put your toppings on and cook it, and holy crap, it was really, really good. We kind of burned some of the edges, or crisped up a little bit some of the edges more, but it's an ongoing process. But it's a really popular recipe for diabetics and people on the keto diet to do, because it allows you to have pizza. And that's my biggest thing, is I love pizza. I haven't found a good pasta substitute. There's some I think shiitake mushroom noodles that you can get at kind of like the fancier grocery stores. That the angel hair version was all right. We made it with some homemade Alfredo sauce, but the fettuccine version was gross. It was too much of whatever that texture is. But the bread recipe we tried the one with almond flour, the one I mentioned, the top post of all time on keto recipes, on the subreddit keto recipes. That was actually good. We did a hamburger, a sandwich, and then I tried one fresh out of the oven with butter, and it was really, really good. So, but yeah, the fathead, it enabled me to have pizza. And the downside is it's very, I mean, there's a lot of fat in it, and that's good for the diet, because your crust is made of cheese and you put more cheese on top. We use turkey pepperoni, the Hormel turkey pepperoni. It's really good. We made one with hamburger, and then we made one that was half cheese and half pepperoni. But I think that's the thing. I think part of the key is of this kind of diet is if you can find things that substitute that are in line with the diet, especially as a diabetic, that reduce the carbs. I mean, the carbs on the fathead pizza is, I think when I measured it out, like based on the products that we buy, it is, I think, like 1 point something carbs per slice, per 1/8 of the pizza, which is huge. That's good, because normally a pizza is, I think, like 20 to 30 carbs, and I can have my toppings. Now, it's not going to be Pizza Hut or the Papa John's or even the non-chain places, even the good places, you know. But it's pizza, and it was incredibly satisfying. And of course, fat helps keep you satiated. I think that's the right word. So yeah, it's really cool. So anyway, so this is the first video. Hopefully there'll be more. Hopefully I'm being a different state of dress, or maybe not in a thing in a room that makes me look like a brony. But yeah, so like I said, if you have questions, oh crap, I just touched my forehead. Email me at Galan at DTALKS Podcast. That's DTALKS Podcast. Or email us at DTALKS at gmail.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, like us on iTunes, leave us a 5-star review. It really helps us out. If you're interested, follow us on Patreon at patreon.com/DTALKS Podcast. $2 a month gets you access to all of our bonus content. If not, that's totally cool too. The fact that you listen and the fact that you're watching these videos is awesome. And if you had any feedback, or if you think, I don't know, like I know there's YouTubers that actually set up static cams, and I'm not that fancy, nor am I really good at keeping myself centered in the thing or whatever. But let me know. I'm happy for feedback, because I want to do this on an ongoing basis. So I'm about to touch my screen with my dirty old hand that has all that stuff on it. And talk to you later, guys. Later. Thanks so much.